Hey, this is Mike Mitchell with Progressive Church Media, and I'm here with another tutorial to help you make the most out of multimedia and software in your church ministry. And today I'm going to be talking about digital evangelism. This is something actually that I think the church I attend, Virginia Highland Church in Atlanta, does really well. And so I want to share with you something that we do on a fairly regular basis. Now, what I've pulled up here is the social media PowerPoint template that is available at Progressive Church Media. You can find that just by searching on social media and looking through the products, and you'll find it that way. But you can obviously use this technique with any PowerPoint template that you want. I just like this because it's obviously dealing with social media, which is kind of the point of this particular tutorial. Now, before I dive in and I show you exactly what we're going to do, I want to give you some background on why I think that this is an important thing. So I kind of made a quick little slide here to bring this to your attention. So let me just kind of bring this up here. So Facebook did a study in 2011 just to kind of get a sense of their user population. What they found is the average Facebook user has right about 190 friends, and in fact, 50% of Facebook users have at least 100 friends. So you can think about how many you have and whether you're kind of which part of the bell curve you're on there. So in your congregation, let's say, and I did this just to kind of keep the math easy. Let's say you have 100 people who attend a worship on a regular basis at your church, and let's assume that half of those people actually have an active Facebook account. So we're talking 50 people. So 50 people in your congregation times they all have an average of 190 friends. If you could get them to post something about your church or an event, then that gets you, a potential audience of over 9,000 people, 9,500. Now, there's probably some overlap there because, some of your people probably are friends with some of the same people, but, that math just gets too complicated, and I was told there was no math in this particular tutorial. So my point is this is a very, very easy way to get your folks in your church to help spread the word about something that you would like them to. Now, the trick is, I think most people kind of understand that concept, but you kind of have to coach people on what to actually post or actually kind of give them an example. And that's actually what we do at Virginia Highland Church is we actually post an example. So if people want to do this, then we kind of give them a script to follow. So again, I'm here in this PowerPoint. We're not going to use actually most of these, but what I am going to do, and I've already done this just to kind of save some time. Again, I just took a very simple slide here and just put this little title on here: before you silence your phones, because we encourage people to silence their phones at the start of church. The pastor tends to like that so that stuff isn't ringing while he's trying to do his sermon. Go figure. So anyway, before you silence your phones, be a digital evangelist. And we actually call it that. And so this would be the slide that would come up, and this would be actually on a little slideshow loop that we have running before church. So they would see this slide, and then what I'm going to have happen next is actually bring up an example. And that's what I'm going to show you how to build today. So we're going to be talking about bringing graphics into PowerPoint and doing some very, very basic animation on them. So first of all, what I'm going to pretend we're going to do is we want to have people tweet something out. So we need some graphics to do that. So I'm going to go out to good old Google, and I want to see if I can find the Twitter logo that I want to have come up on the screen. So I'm just going to do a search on Twitter logo. Now, here is a key thing that I want to mention is when you look for logos, especially for this kind of purpose, you want to search either for PNG, so this would be Twitter logo PNG, but actually a better thing to search on would be Twitter logo transparent. Okay, and you'll see here are some examples, and if I would click here on images, then I could pick one of these, which I've already done. And by the way, when I post this tutorial, I will include a zip file with all of the graphics and images that I'm using so that you don't have to do any of this. You can just jump right in and do it. But here's why this is important, to look for transparent media. Let me bring back up PowerPoint. If I just used, if I would have just gone out there and grabbed a JPEG Twitter logo, which I have got one of those just so you can see, I'm going to come up here under the insert menu, picture from file, and out here I've got those saved. So here is the Twitter logo as a JPEG. So let me bring that in, and first of all I'm just going to scale it down a little bit. So what we want to do is I want this little Twitter bird to kind of fly up onto the screen a little bit, and then we'll put what we want people to tweet. But here's the thing, because this is a JPEG, it's got this white background, and so this kind of looks kind of clunky. I don't want that white box on there. We can do better. We can do better than that. So I've also got an example where I went and found a transparent background Twitter logo. So let me go grab that real quick. Again, I put it out here in the same place. Here it is. And again, but you can already see, this kind of coming up on the screen is going to be better than this guy. So we're going to get rid of that guy. Maybe make him just a little bit bigger here. And I'm just going to put him right here for right now. Now, the other thing I could do if I want to get a little fancy is I could come up here and add a little shadow, and again that just kind of gives it a little more glitz. But the other thing I want to put on the screen here is kind of a little speech bubble like you see in a comic strip or a cartoon, because that's what we want to tell people to tweet. So again, I've got one of those. Let me just go grab it here. I want this one. Again, same idea. I have made sure when I searched for a speech bubble, I searched for one that had a transparent background because it just looks better. So again, the idea of this animation is going to be up and then tweet, and then in the speech bubble we'll actually put an example of what we want folks to say. So hopefully that makes sense. Just kind of bear with me, and I think you'll see what this looks like at the very end. Now, by the way, if you really get into this and want to explore this whole concept of digital evangelism even more, I've written an ebook called Unreasonable Ministry. Excuse me. You can, if you come out here to the Progressive Church Media webpage, and if you scroll down, you'll find on this link here, Innovative Services. You can click right there and you can learn more about how to get a copy of that. But in the ebook, let me just kind of page through here very quickly. I show and give all kinds of examples of how to do this kind of stuff. And one of the things I really like is, just like you're watching this tutorial right now, there are actually tutorials embedded within the ebook. So as you're reading along, you can play them, and it will give you a visual for the example that I am going over in that part of the book. So Unreasonable Ministry. Get unreasonable. Get unreasonable. People say I'm unreasonable all the time. Okay, back at it. So again, what I want to do is we're going to animate this. I want the bird to fly on, and then second, I want the speech bubble to appear, and then third, we're going to have something come up within the speech bubble. Okay, so we're going to do this a step at a time. So how you do this kind of depends a little bit on which version of PowerPoint you have. I'm on a Mac, so for me, I go to the animations area. You'll have in your version of PowerPoint, whether you're on a Mac or Windows PC, you'll have this. You may have to look around and find it. But so I'm going here under animation, and you can see I've got like all these different preset animations up here. But what I want to do is a motion path, because I'm going to have to customize this a little bit. It's really easy. That sounds much more difficult than it is. So the first thing I want to do is I just want to take my little bird and bring him so he's just off the screen. Okay, so I just moved him over, and then I'm going to come over here, and I want to choose, I've got again some presets here, but I want to actually draw freeform the path that I want my bird to follow. So I'm going to choose draw freeform. And so now I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to literally draw on the screen, and you're going to see a line show up. And then when I'm finished, what I'm going to do is hit enter, and that tells PowerPoint that I've stopped drawing. So here we go. So I want kind of a little bit of a curve, and then right there, boom. So here's what you're going to see. Let's play that again. Perfect. And actually, wow, I really lucked out, because I got that almost exactly. It actually looks like that speech bubble is going to come out of the bird's beak there. Wow. My luck normally would be way off. But okay, so we've got our Twitter bird flying onto the screen. Now the next thing that we want to do is animate this speech bubble, and I just want it to kind of slowly kind of fade onto the screen. So I'm going to select it just by clicking on it, and I want one of the entrance effects. Okay, and so you can see I can scroll through here. There are lots of different ones, but the one I want is going to be fade. So there we go. So let's play our animation so far. So we've got fade onto the screen. Pretty cool, and actually pretty easy. So now the third and final thing we want to do here is, again, I want to kind of give people an example of what they might want to tweet. So let me come over here and just get a text box. And let's say maybe there's like a summer music program that we're trying to get people to attend. So make plans to attend, if I could spell. Okay, something like that. So again, this can be literally whatever you want it to be. I could come over here and change the font, all that kind of thing. But I'll just leave it the way it is for now. But I will, just because I'm like this, I'm going to just make it a little bit bigger. So I just change the size. And so now the third piece is I want that to pop up on the screen. So I'm going to come back over here to animations. I've got my text selected, and again, I'm going to use just the same one, the same fade on. So here we go. So I'm going to come over here and click play so we can see the whole animation in effect. So whomp, boom, perfect. And so at this point, I would just save that, and then on Sunday morning, I would do that up. So you could do the same thing with having, if the Facebook logo come onto the screen, or, if you've got folks on Instagram. And honestly, this is the kind of thing where this is actually a really cool way to get some of your youth involved. You may look at this and think, oh my gosh, there's no way I could do this, but I guarantee you've got young people within your congregation that if you showed them this tutorial, they would totally get it. They could take the ball and run with this, and actually probably even do more sophisticated animations than I am. So, this is a way to kind of rope them in, and, again, this is like second nature for them to do this kind of stuff. So anyway, real quick, I hope this gives you some interesting ideas. And I'll be posting all of the files that I use so that you can literally recreate this. And I'll actually even include the samples so you can actually see exactly what I did. I hope you've enjoyed this, and we'll have more tutorials very soon.